My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Slay the Spire. Alright, so what is it? It's Ironclad 15 Ascension... 15 Ascension, also known as the 15th level of Ascension, also known as Ascension 15. The Heartbreaker Chronicles, of course. Obtain a curse for a random rare relic. I'm kind of interested in taking it, to be honest. Primarily for the reason that... I mean, it could just give me the win. And I've got a ability to remove the curse in like a couple spaces on a path that I'm pretty naturally going to be going on. You know what? We'll go with it. Oh, yes! Fossilized Helix. Prevent the first time you lose HP each combat. And the curse that we got there was clumsy. It's entirely possible that we decide not to remove that. Not instantly, at least. Shouldn't have defended there because I instantly forgot that I have Fossilized Helix. Defending and not defending on that turn did the same thing. Fossilized Helix is extraordinarily powerful here on the first floor with the elites. Because there's only one elite in each fight, it means that their first hit is negated. Except for the Sentry fight, but in the Sentry fight, on the first turn, only one of them is guaranteed to be hitting. What I'm effectively saying is that you're not being hit multiple times on the first turn. Shrug it off easily. Just pick up a nice defensive card there. It'll help me actually retain my buffer from the Fossilized Helix for a little bit longer. I mean, I play it here anyway. Whatever. Yay! It saved me 4 HP. Well, at least we get to be reasonably aggressive on this turn. Would have liked another strike, but that's okay. Can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you might just find to get what you need. Okay, so hang on. I'll heal 4. I think on the off chance the enemy is attacking next turn. Nah, they weren't. Setting up the vulnerability that turn, and that only meant that I left the fight with 1 less HP. Or 1 fewer hit points. Was probably a better idea, just to deal with the variance of what was kind of possible there. I kind of want to take a battle trance. Just having a battle trance is totally fine. That's a corruption in a deck that already has a clumsy. It could be corruption. Could also be Iron Wave. Could also be Dramatic Entrance. It would be amazing if I was capable of picking up Preserved Insect or Orichalcum or Lee's Waffle. Well, not really Lee's Waffle. Let's talk for a second about shops. I've had infinite times the comment, Rhapsody, why do you go to shops if you don't have enough money to purchase a relic? Well, number 1, you can buy a card that defines your run and helps you along the way. Number 2, you can remove cards. Number 3 is the point that I want to get into. It doesn't matter. Unless you run out of relics in the pool, it doesn't matter at all. Why? Because these could have been 3 garbage relics and then the next shop had amazing relics. Or the final shop in the entire run has amazing relics. And if I didn't visit this shop, I wouldn't have been capable of looking at those. Until you go to the store, it doesn't matter. Unless you already know what they are going to be, it doesn't matter. If you take a deck of randomly shuffled cards and you draw the top card or you draw the 52nd, it's the same. Until you draw it, it does not matter. It's very important that you know this, because unless you think that you can act with retrospect, as in replay the seed, it doesn't matter. Please trust me. This is true. I'm going to take Iron Wave. Probably card. Yeah, fine. Let's get that clumsy out there. It's just negating one of my draws on a turn. I'd rather not have that happen. This is going to be an upgrade on the Bash pretty easily, especially because I am going to be going for at least 1 elite, possibly 2 on this floor. Okay. We lost 18 HP there, and we picked up the tiny chest. Upon pickup, gain 30 gold. You're 10% more likely to find treasure in question mark rooms. here. I want to smith the Iron Wave. I kind of want just a couple more Iron Waves, a little bit more value. All right. There are worse opening fights. Hopefully the first attack the Gremlin Knob does is large. Ooh, that's a large boy of an attack right there. Completely negates 16 damage on that turn. Am I going to be killing in the next 3 turns? No, because I haven't got vulnerability on the enemy. They're only gaining 2. I'm not vulnerable yet, so that means I still play them now. Yeah, and then I'm going to be killing this turn. So I took 4 extra damage as a result of having played that defense, but I defended 5. Tori, whenever you receive 5 or less unblocked attack damage, reduce it to 1. Emerald Key, as well as the Fire Potion. I kind of want to take an Anger here. We have a little bit of draw both in the Shrug It Off and the Battle Trance, so the card disadvantage of Anger isn't as important as the kind of like faux energy advantage it gives us. It gives us the ability to play more cards in our hand. Okay. I'll upgrade it pretty early here, actually. Darkstone Parry Up versus Sapphire Key. I'll be taking the Sapphire Key. I may actually end up picking up all of my... they have a name, don't they? I may end up picking up all of my keys here on the first floor. I'm pretty comfy doing that. So what am I looking for now? I'd like a reliable AoE card, like a Whirlwind. I'd take a Cleave in a pinch here. Clothesline versus Inflame, but I already have an Anger, so I'm going to be playing a couple more attacks than I otherwise might be. Who's our boss on this floor? It is Hexaghost. Okay, well that tips it in favor of the Clothesline. I'm not pleased that it tipped it in favor of the Clothesline, but it did. Kind of got to roll with the cards I'm dealt. Literally burdened. That's the sound of a balloon deflating and nothing else. Got him. Second Iron Wave. Sure. Still don't really have a way to win yet, which is not awe-inspiring, I'll tell you that much. If I can defend that turn, I should defend that turn. And because I can't defend this turn, it doesn't matter if I play the defense or not. I could use an explosive... an explosive potion, a fire potion here. No, because I actually do want to lose some more HP before we go into the Hexaghost fight. I need to have my HP a little bit lower than it currently is. So I'll be taking 10 damage on this turn. I don't intend to, like, take a bunch of damage that I could have otherwise avoided. But I'm not going to go out of my way to expend resources that could be used later in order to avoid damage here. For instance, there, I still decided to full defend. Okay. Very nice draw right there. Damn. Shrug it off? Yeah. That's what I was worried about. We needed the shrug it off in that hand for actual effect. Ah, well. So next upgrade is earmarked for, ooh, Art of War. If you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an additional energy next turn. There's a Thunderclap. It's a little bit of AoE, but the problem is the vulnerability that it applies always wears off on the turn that it's applied. See, the upgrade doesn't increase the amount of vulnerability. So you can only take advantage of that by playing Thunderclap and then playing attacks directly after on that turn, or using it to extend vulnerability that's being applied by a different card as well. For that reason, I'm just going to go for the extra shrug it off here. Yeah, upon pickup, raise your max HP by 10. And also increase the damage you will be dealt by the enemy at the end of this floor. I think I should probably transform and defend here, because if we are too defensive against the Hexaghost, thankfully we did pick up a vulnerability potion, but if we're too defensive against the Hexaghost, we're just going to lose. Okay. Intimidate's pretty good. Actually, kind of think maybe I upgrade it before the clothesline. No. Clothesline will be played multiple times in this fight. Okay, never mind. I only play Intimidate if I get Clothesline out of this hand, and I don't. No, I'll be mostly defending next turn. I need to save the Fear Potion for the turn where I'm not just going to be defending. See, this is what I was worried about. That's 30 incoming damage right there. So thankfully that takes off 12. Oh well. Best I could really do, unfortunately. Thankfully, the Tori did reduce the amount of damage overall, and it would have done so the entire time. Does that mean that I shouldn't have blocked initially? I would have taken 2 more damage in order to deal 6 more? Okay. I don't know which way I really should have gone on that. I could probably flexibly see each. I apply the vulnerability potion here because we didn't get the bash in that hand. Totally fine with this. I'll only be taking 1 damage this turn. Tori is ridiculous. Okay. I'm obviously more than happy to put a bunch of angers in my deck here because they're actually, like, my deck is getting diluted no matter what I do. So I might as well dilute it with cards I can play so that, you know, it's not just all burns. Smithers. That's the worst burns impression of all time. Happy birthday, Mr. Smithers. And that one's just creepy. Well, but then again, so is the spirit of the characters, so. Alright, I'm ultimately pretty glad Tori didn't save this fight. It was the clothesline. If we didn't have Tori, we still would have won because of clothesline. Offering Impervious Exhume. Offering is a little bit anti-synergistic just because of the Battle Trance. So if we draw an Offering after a Battle Trance, it's a little bit bad. But because the deck intends to get much thicker than this in order to counter the deck trashing abilities of the Heart at the very end of the game, it's probably not that bad. Like, you can have 2 anti-synergistic cards in your deck and not always draw them. By the way, it's important to remember that you can just draw them in the other order as well, right? It's at least equally as likely that I'll draw Offering before Battle Trance. If I didn't have those 2 Iron Waves, I think I would... Oh, god damn it. Do I? Every time I see Snecko Eye, I know that it offers a ridiculous amount of power. But I'm also aware that the variance that it introduces seems to annoy a lot of people. Unduly as well. It's not like a civil discussion usually, although there are some people who have relatively civil discussions about the Snecko Eye. Oftentimes it's really emotive. Problem here is I'm not offered an Energy Relic. Now, I do have a bunch of 0-cost cards in the deck. I do have Anger, I do have Battle Trance, I do have Intimidate, and I do have Offering. Offering's not necessarily bad. Keep in mind that Offering gives you back 2 energy as well, and draws 3 cards. And one of the most important things that you can do in a Snecko Eye deck is draw additional cards. Drawing additional cards gives you additional chances to have low roll costs on those cards. Yep. The big reason that Snecko Eye is insane is not the randomization of the cost. I need to get this through. it's drawing 2 additional cards. That helps, number one, go against the deck trashing, right? Because you aren't losing just a 5th of your hand when you draw a status, you're losing a 7th of it. Number 2, it helps mitigate the worst effects of the RNG because you have more cards, and more cards means you have more chances to have lower cost rolls. It's also worth noting that we are playing the Ironclad, and the Ironclad has a ridiculous amount of cards that can be used with this. Not every card has to be 2 cost or 3 cost for it to be good with Snecko Eye. Alright, I'm intentionally going to try and go to a very early shop here. Intimidate actually completely saves my HP this time. I'm intentionally not going to go to an early shop here. Oh, not going to. Sorry, am going to go to an early shop because I'm looking for some cards that might be particularly helpful here. Yeah, I should play that in a different order. So we're taking 7 damage this turn. Oh, sorry, 6. I could put someone on the ground now. Okay. Could and should. Battle Trance, Strike, Clothesline knocks down the backliner. But if instead I use Iron Wave, I can defend myself. It's only for 1 HP is the thing. Yeah. It only defends me for 1 HP because Tori also blocks the rest of it regardless. I'm not naturally playing 3 attacks this turn anyway, so I'll use Battle Trance. Okay. That's fine. Knock down the backliner, start working on the mid. The anger definitely needs to be removed from the deck at this rate, so that's also another consideration of what we can do at this upcoming store. Okay. I think I'm actually probably best served going for that. Setting up the vulnerability and having 1 fewer targets on the field. There's the bird. Whirlwind. As good as Carnage is, Whirlwind provides the AoE that we've desperately been asking for this entire time and is entirely unaffected by the Snecko Eye. So it means if I draw a garbage hand, Whirlwind's still playable. And not only playable, but playable for its full value. Which is an important point to make. I can play Offering here, and my HP loss would be completely negated. Okay. Nice. Because of that, I drew cards that allowed me to completely negate the incoming damage of the enemies, so the buffer kind of just worked how it should have. Alright. That's not an upgraded Whirlwind. So it did 21 damage rather than the 24 by base plus vulnerability that I was expecting to occur to the Mugger in the backline. Does that mean that I need to throw this? Yeah, it does mean that I need to throw this. Damn it. Because I was expecting that I'd be taking 1 damage from the looter because of the Tori. That's my bad. I mean, who's else? Who else is bad? Who's else? Who else's? Who's else? Whose else's? Someone else is bad. It isn't. Just gonna dip down to Yoda speak for a moment here. If I had a strength source in the deck, I would take the heavy blade. But because I don't, I think it's just card removal on the anger. I'm also going to take a strength potion just because I'm kind of terrified of some of these upcoming elite combats. Should have played the Shrug It Off first there. Yeah. I suspected it was always going to be part of our play strategy, and I didn't play it before the other card that also drew cards. Which is a bad, wrong, not good. Completely negate 10 damage here. Now, we do need to visit this rest site before we take on any elites. So I'm suspecting we probably go here, 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 and then go up to this elite as our first. Maybe cut off to another one. And the primary reason for that is because of the fact that there are AoE elite fights on this floor, I'm talking obviously about the Slavers and the Gremlins. If I don't upgrade the Whirlwind, I can expect to lose those fights much more commonly than if I do upgrade the Whirlwind. Yeah, won't get fooled again on that one. Do I want to take 1 damage this turn? Yeah. Problem here is it has to be Clothesline. I think it has to be Clothesline just a single defend as well. Takes that from 6 to 1 damage. We are getting ridiculously poor luck on this offering, by the way. The amount of times it has been 3 is bonkers. Okay. Yep, totally fine with that. 6 in. Hey, look, it's offering. I never said I was going to play it. I just said we were getting bad luck on it. Good lord. Alright, I'm going to use the Battle Trance. Yeah, for the optimistic possibility of drawing more than 7 damage that it would have been able to do with a single Iron Wave there. Turns out, was a realistic goal. I'm going to burn out the Intimidate. It's basically my only time to do that. It also extends the weakness on the enemy. That should be lethal. Go! Regen Potion versus Dex. Ugh! Do I take spot weakness? See, the thing is, okay, so for Blood, card reduction and Snecko Eye does not work how you might expect. If the card is in your hand and then you reduce its cost, so if this was in my hand and then I took damage to Thorns or to playing Hemikinesis or Offering, etc., it would reduce its cost. However, Snecko Eye, the confused tag says whenever you draw a card, randomize its cost. It doesn't specifically say this, but it is randomized between 0 and 3. So if I hurt myself a bunch of times and this goes down to 0 cost in my deck, if I draw it, it will cost a random amount. If I pull it out of my deck somehow, using some sort of card that allows me to fetch a card from my deck rather than to draw it, so choose a card from your deck, put it in your hand, then Blood for Blood will still be 0 cost, because I haven't drawn it, I haven't triggered the confused effect on it. I think I still need to take Spot the Weakness so that I have some ability to scale here, because we have no scaling right now. It's also worth noting that it's particularly powerful considering that we have a... yeah, I'll fight it. Ooh, that's an opening hand. I kind of want to go for Bear. I mean, I'm fully defended against the attack that Pointy was going to do. Oh. Damn. We're definitely going to be losing some HP. That's okay, though. We're going to get in the... We'll have the effect of weakening all of our enemies at the start of each combat. That is pretty ridiculous. We don't really exhaust cards in this deck. Pommel Strike, when upgraded, would actually be a pretty reasonable pick. Despite being 1 cost, it draws 2 cards, and those cards might not be 1 cost. It's not upgraded yet, though. Whirlwind's just the obvious upgrade there. Has to happen. I do draw an 2 additional cards every turn. Having the Curse of Writhe in my opening hand... How bad is it? I don't think it's that bad. Especially when this could be an amazing relic. Red Skull, when your HP is at or below 50%, you have 3 additional strength. That's actually probably particularly helpful for us, because that's going to happen to us a lot. Centennial Puzzle, the first time we lose HP each combat, draw 3 cards. That's actually not going to be triggered by our offering all of the time, whereas it usually would be. And here's why. We didn't lose any HP. I'm kind of just digging for Whirlwind here. Didn't get it. Okay. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine. But it isn't, though. So we got weakens that turn. And the enemy is definitely going to be attacking this turn. So we've got 9x3 is 27. Just short of killing the Gremlin Wizard. And now it kills the Gremlin Wizard. Cool. So yes, we'll be taking a pretty substantial amount of damage this turn. But we have the extra strength to kind of just dunk on the Gremlin leader after that point. Which this deck otherwise would not have necessarily done. Nunchku, every time you play 10 attacks, gain an energy. That's not half bad. If Berserk was like 2 costs and didn't have a downside, it would totally fit this deck. But it's 0 cost and has a pretty substantial downside. I can't take it. Okay. The next cards that we upgrade probably both need to be defensive, so I'm thinking shrug it off, shrug it off. Well, I know that the Chosen isn't going to be attacking next turn because it'll be hexing instead, so I don't necessarily need to play Intimidate here because the extra weaken on the Chosen doesn't matter. The Cultist is only dealing 6 next turn anyway. So I think, in fact, dishing out the extra damage is probably the best way that we can go here. I worry that spot weakness is still correct. Backliner, please use 1 large attack. Didn't use any. I guess that's okay. So this is 12x2 already. Okay, cool. So we can drop a bash on the back line. Great. 9x2. Am I okay with taking a 9x2? No. Not particularly. Yes, it'd only be 9 by 1, but still. Needed something better than that. Alright, we'll be taking 9 by 1. See, the problem is if I played the smaller Shrug It Off, it would have still triggered the... it still would have triggered the buffer on the first hit, and then it would have taken the 9, so it's 9 by 1 still. So I needed to play the more powerful Shrug It Off there if I wanted to completely negate the attack. But I went with the variance on possibly drawing a better option than that. You don't necessarily always hit that. That's fine. Entrench versus Body Slam. Pre-upgraded Entrench doesn't matter at all. Could be 2 cost, could be 1 cost, doesn't matter to me. It proposes a significant amount of defense in this deck, actually. I'll take it. Who's our boss? It's the champ. Oof. The weak potion could be useful there. I'm gonna skip it. I endeavor not to regret this decision. Alright. Hey, it's Iron Wave. Cool. Best part about that is that we don't take damage this turn. Spot weakness. And then I have lethal on one character, but no defense against the other. Gonna be playing Offering here before I play any attacks. It'll draw me 6 cards. Nice. Now I can just kill that enemy. Taking 6 HP worth of damage. Probably worth there. Should have played multiple attacks so that I was closer to my next Nunchaku. Pre-upgraded armaments. When I have additional draw, it's a little bit more effective. And we do have additional draw in this deck. Obviously, Snecko Eye is also part of that. Take a single copy of it. Gosh, that's a garbage hand. Alright. What can we do about it then? I kind of want to defend Shrug It Off, but I could just armaments defend. And then I get 3 upgraded cards. Well, 4 upgraded cards out of it. Those 2 wounds are going to be rough. Yeah, that's a spot weakness right there. That is to say that it's an extremely expensive spot weakness. It might be, you know, Iron Wave Strike, Battle Trance. No, because I don't want to draw Whirlwind. That's the thing. The spot weakness is the setup for the Whirlwind. I think I've committed too much damage to the backline there. Like, significantly too much damage to the backline there. Yeah. Way too much. It didn't matter, but still. Blood Bowl at start of each combat, heal for 2 HP, as well as Perfected Strike versus Clothesline versus Barricade. Now, this is more my speed. I kind of want to take the Barricade. Then definitely rest here. I saved the Dex Potion for this fight specifically. Well, I'm not fully defending myself this turn regardless. Unless Shrug It Off happens to draw some defense, so it's Bash Strike. Think about it like this. Like, sure, a lot of those had high costs. But would I have been able to play more than Bash Strike if I didn't have Snecko Eye? I didn't have an Energy Relic on offer. No. The answer is no. I wouldn't have. Spot Weakness needs to be played every time it's drawn. Also play the Barricade to get out of my hand, then play the Whirlwind. We'll get extra draw next turn, which is nice. Ooh. Armaments with a very, very large hand of not entirely upgraded cards. Seems good to me. Okay. I'll save the Centennial Puzzle for later. Not the Centennial Puzzle, the Nunchaku for later. It's Strike, offering for the draw, get a completely full hand. Armaments for the upgrade, and then if we had some really nice cards to play, here's where we would play them. No, we don't. Well, do we? Shrug It Off Entrench has value here. A lot. We miss out on a lot of damage, but we just banked a lot of damage. Or rather, a lot of block. Which is what it's called. Usually. We get to our next Entrench, and then we become untouchable. Enemy is probably attacking for the next 2 turns, so an Intimidate here would not go entirely amiss. Yep, defend, bash, entrench. Right. We're untouchable. This is the kind of thing that I'm trying to set up for in the heart fight, but gosh, it would have to be a lot faster in the heart fight. This speed ain't exactly breakneck. If you catch my incredibly unsubtle drift there. Obviously should have played the defender. Forgot that I had a barricade for a second there. I literally was talking about barricade moments before that. Oh well. It's okay. Everybody makes a bunch of mistakes. Well, not a bunch, but everyone makes mistakes. Right. Yeah, I'm actually kind of fine with splitting the enemy here. Having them transform next turn, because I'm not super likely to have my spot weakness this turn. Nice. You've done it now. Face my wrath. Hey, there we go. It's the spot weakness I'm supposed to play every single time I draw it. Hello, spot weakness I'm supposed to play every single time I draw it. How are you doing? Ooh, Execute has an animation. Nice. Alright. I'm thinking bash clothesline, but we'll do our draw first. Woohoo. I mean, another entrench at this point is, I believe, overkill. Cool. I mean, I would play another spot weakness. When I said you should play it every time you draw it, that only counts if you need to. Ugh. So there's a super messy interaction, and it's inconsistent with innate cards and Snecko Eye. The way that I understand that it works may not be correct, But here's how I understand that it works. If you have cards that are innate in your deck, before you get Snecko Eye, they will still be the cost that they were. They are considered to be put in your hand. Before, or rather, they are considered to be drawn before the effect of Snecko. Somehow. I don't understand why. But if you get a card and make it innate after, it randomizes its cost. If you have a bottle, put something in your hand, I think it depends on whether you got the bottle before Snecko Eye or Snecko Eye before the bottle. I'm not entirely certain on that front. But good lord, I would like some clarity on that. Not anecdotal clarity, mind. If anyone knows on a code level what is happening with Snecko Eye and can explain it in terms that I would understand, I would be really interested in that. What things affect Snecko Eye, what things do not? Because I have seen Snecko Eye not affect things that have been in bottled relics and not affect things that have been innate, and I've seen it affect things that have been in bottled relics and the things that have been innate, although I might be getting confused on the latter. I know for the former that's the case. Until I know that, I can't take brutality. God! Really? This is what I was worried about. I have no energy relics. I have no way to get any energy relics in this entire run. It's a big problem. It's a really, really big, frustrating problem. I think I want to take the Runic Cube because card draw is so important in a Snecko Eye deck, and I already have... the cards I don't draw in my turn, it's fine. I'll just keep them in my hand for later. Gosh. Alright. There's a really nice path starting here that gets to an early shop. Those are all things devoutly to be wished. That's a barricade and a half right there. I'm going to play the barricade. I'm not going to play any attacks this turn, just so that I can trigger the Art of War for the extra attack next turn. Or the extra energy next turn, rather. Oh, nice. No one's attacking this turn, so we actually can't even use the spot weakness. Cool. And we definitely don't have the ability to take down the Exploder. One of our most defensive cards is on the very bottom of our deck, and we drew all defensive cards in the first day. I'm just saying, that was a very poor series of draws for us. It's ghastly being worse. Oh well. That happens from time to time. So I'm effectively just going to start building my entrench wall here. Until I have enough HP that the Spiker can't really do anything about it. I'm also going to play Intimidate because it's not going to be relevant later. Shrug, defend, clothesline. Ugh, Havoc, yikes. Metallicize. I want it. Yeah, I want it. Fine. Don't you dare put a curse in my deck. I'm gonna be real mad. I fundamentally don't believe that without Snecko Eye we would have been able to make it through the champ. Hell, I don't think we would have made it halfway through that floor. obviously remove Writhe. Spot weakness, clothesline, shrug it off, defend. Yes, the draw should have occurred first. Well spotted. Whew. Alright, so we'll be taking some damage on this turn, that's okay. Again, would we have been able to play more than a defend, a bash, and a strike that turn? Hell, we would have been able to play less without the Snecko Eye. Cool. Whirlwinds. Nice. Nice easy fight right there. Another shrug it off. Ooh, okay, all right. I want to take the Heavy Blade, the Whirlwind, Pen Nib, and the Anchor. How many can I afford to take? I definitely want the Anchor. 10 block at the very start of combat is going to be extremely handy for us. Pen Nib is pretty ridiculous for your damage output because you can just hold it for the right card, and especially with spot weakness, it allows you to scale kind of multiple times during a fight. It also allows you to straight up invalidate floor fights. Heavy Blade might actually just be necessary so that I have a win condition. I don't yet obviously have much strength that I can add to the deck, but who knows when Limit Break turns up or another spot weakness. I'm going to discard a poison potion in order to take a skill potion there. The idea behind that skill potion is the... Oh, yes, just remove the strike. Nice. The idea behind that skill potion is that possibly it will contribute to... Oof. Yikes. Whew. I really wanted to play Whirlwind that turn. Oh well. The idea with the skill potion is that it will possibly contribute towards a building of the entrench wall in the final combat. Hang on. Don't you dare tell me flux is occurring. Yeah, flux is not occurring. I don't know what's happening here. All right. Shrug it off. Definitely offering. Barricade. Now I kind of know the direction this turn has to go in. Set up for that entrench. Bends. Bends. Iron Wave gave me another energy there, so I should have played the bash first. That's my bad. Entrench 3 ends. Cool. Managed not to take damage that turn, which is no small task. That was a bad turn. Obviously, with these two Whirlwinds in the deck, we want extra energy, but more than that, we want the two Whirlwinds in the deck. They're kind of just necessary for us right now. Doesn't say, you know, great things about our deck, but what could be. God, I hate it when you just don't get any energy relics. Ugh, I'll try not to focus on that, though. At least we have Snecko to help balance some of that out. Literally one energy relic with Snecko is so good, though, because you can play 2 costs. Should have played the Entrench first. I was thinking, oh, I can just draw more cards before I play the Entrench. Play both of the Whirlwinds here at the end to increment the Pen Nib and Nunchaku. There was a point at which I could have done that before where I neglected to, and that was because I would have triggered the Nunchaku earlier than I wanted to. I'm trying to work them all down to around similar HP totals so that I can then just kill them all with a single attack. Whew, now that's a turn right there. Should be a whirlwind away from victory. So that wasn't the case, but that's okay. Obviously should have played Shrug It Off there. I forgot. Didn't forget the fact that it was 0 cost. I just looked at it and it didn't register in my head as 0 cost for some reason. Cool. Now we only have one target left on the field that we need to get down to a reasonable amount of HP before we can take them out. Sure, we're kind of toying with our food a little bit here, but... That kind of happens from time to time in this game. Ooh, nice. Whirlwind draw kills. I intentionally don't kill any of the enemies that turn because a Whirlwind next turn will do it and leaves me with Pen Nib at the start of the next combat as well as the Nunchaku soon thereafter. Do I take another offering at this rate? I think I do. Again, if it's anything less than 2 costs, if it's 2 cost or less, which remember, it's only 25% of the time that it's 3 cost. If it's 2 cost or less, I'm more than happy to have it, especially because 2 in the deck, the second one will trigger the Runic Cube as well as the Centennial Puzzle. Damn it! I love that it turns up as 3 cost immediately. Experiencing the low side of variance doesn't necessarily negate the strategy. Like this is extremely high side of variance right now, which is nice. Problem is I obviously want to open with Whirlwind, but I also want to finish with Whirlwind so it does extra damage. All I know is we definitely play Intimidate first. Then I'll open with Whirlwinds. Then it's lower damage, higher damage, higher damage. It's worth noting that offering is going to fill my hand entirely, so I need to be certain and play stuff out of my hand first. Playing Spot Weakness. I'm going to need the scaling. Nice. So Barricade, Shrug It Off, Entrench obviously seems the correct way to go here. I say obviously, but to me seems the correct way to go here. There's the possibility of playing Entrench before I Shrug It Off, so the Entrench is in my new deck as well. But that's a very long term, and I'm going very short term at the moment. Damn. Really would have liked to be able to play the Spot Weakness this turn. We'll overdraw by 1 here, but that's okay. Metallicize is just pumping in a little bit of defense every turn while we're not generating it ourselves. Good lord. It's a fair amount of damage right there, but our next Entrench needs to be real soon. I am amazed how the game just said no. No, how about a no on that one? You know, the Entrench you were asking for. Just no. extra draw this turn at least. Hey, good bash. It is remarkable how poor our defense can be currently. Like, I can get another 11 with the entrench. But I think I'm actually probably best served by using Bash Strike and then using that for the extra draw. And yeah, I'm probably better served by that because now I have some extra defensive cards that I get to play. Cool. Owens. Whetstone upon pickup upgrade to random attacks. Body Slam. A single Body Slam in this deck has the capability of being our finisher. Sure, it's 0 cost, but it's not something that I will play until it is worth playing. I think it's actually Recall here so that I have the ability to rest or upgrade or whatever I need later. Happy Flower, thank you. Every 3 turns gain an energy. We need relics like that. We need the extra energy. Upgrade all cards that can no longer heal is a death sentence. It has to be a boss from Act 1. So 16 by 3 is 32, 48. 48 lower than that is going to be 17 lower than... Okay, it's fine. We can play the Whirlwind here. Doesn't split the enemy. 75 would split the enemy. 17 lower than 100, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I could have saved the barricade for this... the buffer for this turn. I wasn't expecting to not have barricade yet. Which is a significant impediment in my original plan. Obviously, Clothesline costing 3. Like, literally every card here is increased in cost except for the strike. Obviously, none of that's planned. That's okay, though. I'll be splitting the boss with a really poor value here, but that's fine. We've got 2 Whirlwinds in the deck. It should... Emphasis on the shh. It should still be okay. It's the upgraded Whirlwinds. Frontliner didn't split, but the backliner did. It's all good. It's definitely strike, strike, defend, entrench here. Now we're fine. Cool. So what, we took 8 damage over the course of this entire combat? I'd count that as reasonably successful. Ice Cream, energy is now conserved between turns. If we ever had leftover energy, that'd be a really good thing. I think I need to go for the extra shop here. I'm basically looking for a card to... Gosh, I'm looking for a card to save me. It's probably Offering. As far as upgrading some cards there goes. Ancient Tea Set is probably essential here. Literally just because I need the extra energy, especially on turn 1. Whenever you enter a rest site, start the next combat with 2 extra energy. Orange Pellets would remove the confusion. We have, what, 2 powers in our deck? I think removing the confusion still kills me. Because we have no, like, necessary extra energy. We do have the ice cream giving us energy from previous turns. We've got the happy flower 1 every 3 turns. We've got Nunchaku every time we play an energy. We've got, obviously, Ancient Tea Set and the Art of War. We have a lot of relics that give us energy that aren't energy relics. They're not reliable. I think because of that, I can't rely on removing my confusion, especially because the cards that are confused before Orange Pellets removes my confusion stay that way. They would only change their cost if I redrew them while I was confused. It's entirely possible that Orange Pellets ruins my deck. And I think I still need things to be low cost. Okay. Woo! Nice Metallicise. Offering for the free draw. Shrug and nice. Probably actually should have saved the energy that turn. So I kind of just want to generate as much defenses as possible this turn. The reason for that is because I know I have the Entrench in the next hand. Not exactly the things I was looking to draw with the Entrench, but that's okay. Am I always going to be playing Shrug It Off here? Am I ever playing Entrench in this hand? Only if Battle Trance draws a bunch of 0-cost cards. Yeah, it didn't. So I've already set myself up for my pen nib. Got him. Strength Potion, yes. Upgraded Metallicize, yes. Over Shockwave? Yes. This deck has Barricade. We need the extra reliable defense, especially considering not much is reliable in this deck yet. Now I gotta consider, do I think I need the Strength Potion to get through this fight? Now, Orange Pellets actually, the best point to be making for Orange Pellets would have been that it would allow me to keep the Speed Potion. That would have been an argument with which I would have had difficulty dismissing. So 8 by 6 is 48. Okay, use the Strength Potion. So that just guarantees that I get to remove both of them from the field instantly, which is very important. It's got to be Shrug It Off Bash, sorry. Okay. Woo! That's a spot weakness. Barricade. Strike. Do I play the extra strike now or later? I need to remove more cards from my hand. Okay, so we play an extra card before we play the offering so that we get the full effect of the draw. And there's the full effect of the draw. It's a very expensive weaken right there, but it removed 12 damage from the enemy. Shrug It Off Entrench. Shrug It Off. It's definitely Shrug It Off. I think it's Metallicize Entrench. Metallicize Spot Weakness Entrench. So we managed to full defend that turn, but we've also got the Metallicize set up now, which is really nice. Okay. I could do 88 damage this turn with the Heavy Blade. The problem is, after that, do I have lethal? So 88, and then this goes down to 18, so 18 by 3. That's the highest amount of damage you can do next. So 18 by 3 is 54. So 88, 54 plus another 19. 88, 54, 19. No. It's definitely not anywhere near 200. I'm kind of just ballparking the figures. I don't need to know the exact figures right now. I need to know, would it kill? If no, move on. Something else needs to be done instead. Whoa, yes! That extra draw there was really good. Sure, we'll shrug it off. Metallicize and then Battle Trance. Yes, I recognize I'm playing a bunch of powers against the Awakened One. They are giving me more defense than the Awakened One is gaining strength. That's just the pure facts of that. Yes, it does depend whether the enemy is going to be, using multi-attacks versus us using single defenses. But overall, it will still work out in our favor. I know that I can just kill with that strike right now, which is why I'm playing everything else first. Cool. And because I can kill with that strike, I'm going to use the bash to do it instead. There's our entrench. We are now unkillable. Popped him. We can get a second entrench or an artifact potion in the store. That's going to be a particularly large boon to us. Great. Yeah, it looks like a shrug initially, at least. Then bash clothesline. Sure. Thank you, Ice Cream, for saving unusable energy for when it is not unusable. What's the word for that? Like, non-unusable? Inunusable. Sorry, there we go. Obviously. 12:18, and then we go down to the next floor. Gosh, this is a marathon episode. I really hope that this gets online in time. It might be rest for 7 HP. It's either that or upgrade the Metallicize, but the thing is the Metallicize is so small in effect. It's probably upgrade the other one, actually. I can't rely on armaments doing that one. There's another spot weakness. We can't afford the Ancient Potion, so just immediately ignore that. It's not there. It doesn't matter. That's another spot weakness. I think spot weakness is basically the only way we win. I also really would have liked to take a Fiendfire, by the way. Again, I don't think we would have gotten this far without the Snecko Eye. I say this repeatedly because it is important. They should be attacking left to right, but I think this enemy does wonky things. Regardless, my turn here is still the same. It's bash, strike, and then Whirlwind. Okay, good. It was doing them in the right order there. Lovely. Barricade, spot weakness. Shrug it off. Spot weakness again. Strike. I'm just trying to empty out my hand a little bit here before I use the offering for a ridiculous amount of draw. Yeah, armaments before a heavy blade. And metallicize. Shrug it off. Yes, definitely should have played the Whirlwind there, by the way. Yeah, I feel comfortable. This is probably the least damage I could have taken in this fight. Especially given the draw on that opening turn. I don't want to play the offering anymore. I don't believe that I need to. So to play the offering here would just be to forfeit HP. Armaments. Let's shrug it off first for the draw. Okay. Spot weakness. Bash. Heavy blade for the kill. Back in preparation. Start of combat. Draw 2 additional cards. That's really good. Another metallicize. I think I need it. Okay. 1 upgraded already. And barricade in my opening hand. I'll play Shrug It Off first, so that I don't trigger buffer yet. Then Barricade, Metallicize, Offering. Ooh, that's a hard one. Like 7 inches from the midday sun. I hear you whispering the words so soft and slow, turning me around. I have to play the clothesline here. The extra weakness is really important. Then another offering that doesn't draw me that many cards. But importantly, it gets me the defense and the entrench. Yeah, this hand's gonna suck. It's gotta be Shrug It Off Body Slam, pretty much. It would be Shrug It Off if it could be, but it can't be, so it won't be. If I play Whirlwind here, I get extra energy that I can't use for anything, so let's not do that. Thank you, Void, and Bad Draws for making it impossible for me to defend this turn. Oh, look, I can defend this turn now. Good, yikes. Oh, there's my deck. I was wondering if I was going to see it. I just need to get lucky this turn, I think. And draw some 0-cost defenses. So because of that, I'm going to strike. Shrug It Off is really good here. Speed Potion. That's not the card I was looking for. That's also not what I was looking for. Our life just got a lot harder. I'm going to save the extra energy so that I have extra defense for this turn. That's a lot of incoming damage right there. And the enemy is invulnerable 2 times, so I can't use Bash and then Intimidate in order to weaken them. So the incoming damage is 60. That's the absolute most defense that I can give myself this turn. And we will have 3 HP left over And then we're definitely dead next turn. I'd love to play my spot weaknesses here, but I'm going to try and give myself the best chance I have. Defends. Shrug. Yeah, it can't be done. Can it? It'd be an armaments battle trance here. I need the extra draw, I think, so I'm going to play the clothesline before I play the battle trance. There's the entrench. It is what I was looking for. God, really? Shrug it off, shrug it off, shrug it off. Entrench. Battle trance for the draw. Defend, defend, armaments, Iron Wave. Like, I would have liked some of them. I got a defend and an Iron Wave. The deck is thick with defense. The fact that it keeps avoiding us feels pointed, game. We're dead. Oh well. Wouldn't have got that far without it. Just making that case. Would not have got that far without it. Until next time, by the way. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. That has been an attempt at Ascension 15 Ironclad. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. And hopefully we'll see you next time.